Well, good morning. This will be the first time I will have recorded a video in my bathrobe. There's a first time for everything. And today I'm going to talk about the ninth wave in the evolution of consciousness that I spoke about in the video that has gone viral in the past couple of days of my talk given on the 23rd of January at the pod, which means people of diversity. We don't like to call it a church because so many people have ideas about religion that are not inclusive. So we just say it's people of diversity, which includes everybody because we are an inclusivist group. Anyway, there was some confusion in my talk regarding the day that the ninth wave of evolutionary consciousness begins. I had remembered from Ian Lungold's talks that it was 260 days in length, and the end date was the 28th of October 2011. And then I had read that it starts on March the 9th, and I never did the calculations. Well, after my talk, my daughter approached me. Hers was the voice you heard when I was talking about the time. You could hear it on the video because she was sitting right next to the camera, which was right next to where I was sitting before I went up front. Anyway, she said, "Dad," she says, "that's not 260 days from March," because she said it was February the 11th. And I says, "Well, I know I've read that it was March the 8th or 9th, either one. I remember it being in the beginning of the second week in the month of March." So anyway, I went home and did some research, and so did she, and then we communicated. What I found was this on Dr. Carl Kalaman's website regarding that date. I'm going to actually read it to you right now. He says, "I have probably contributed myself to the confusion that reigns when it comes to the beginning date of the universal wave movement and have given different times for this. What we know is that the calendar develops according to 9 wave movements, where the longest one goes back to the birth of the universe, and they all differ with one another with a factor of 20. According to such a fractal view of the prophetic Mayan calendar system, the ninth wave would then be only 234 days long, made up of 13 different, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word, 18-day periods. This places the beginning of the ninth wave at March 9th, 2011, and that of the preceding wave, consciousness convergence, at July 17th, 2010. These are points in time that are expected to mark significant frequency increases and the accelerations of time. As we approach the time when all the 9 waves, developing at different speeds, will simultaneously come to manifest fully, 28 October 2011, there is thus going to be quite complex patterns of overlapping of these waves. The sacred calendar rounds of 260 days will still have an unquestionable energetic existence, and so these, as part of this overlapping, would continue the 3-stage rocket into the birth of the new world that started on 999 September 9th, 2009. And then it says, please see another web page. For this reason, the dates of the beginning of the next 2 Zolkin rounds, May 27, 2010 and February 11, 2011, will also remain as important times for celebrating alignments with the cosmic plan and potentially very important for the preparation for the conscious convergence and the actual ninth wave, respectively. I hope you understood that and that I read it okay. I know some of the words, I didn't even try one of them. Anyway, it doesn't matter when the start date is. We're already in the energy of that wave. We're already in the energy. The waves are not, I don't believe that anything is set in a point in time. It's consciousness that creates everything. And we're already in the consciousness of the ninth wave, even if it hasn't arrived yet. But what happens as these waves arrive? From my understanding and my gut feeling and intuition, it's simply that we are being downloaded with consciousness or with energy from the cosmos. And these downloads are increasing as we are increasing our ability to handle them. Now, the people that are not open and are resisting the change, they're going to have more of a struggle because they're not preparing their hearts and their minds and their beings to receive this new energy, which is why I sincerely believe, and though it may seem unfortunate, many people, I believe, will be exiting the planet Earth during this year because they just simply will not be able to adapt to the increase of frequency. In any case, those of us that do adapt are becoming a new humanity. I mean, literally, we're not only co-creating a new world, we're co-creating and being co-created as a new humanity. Our higher self, I believe, is merging with our, what we call the lower self or the ego self. It's merging. These two are coming together in a divine marriage of our own soul. And as this happens, we become aware of so much more than we've ever been aware of before. And this is what changes the whole world. This is the dynamic that shifts everything. And it's why those people that say, well, it's always been that way and it'll never change, that's human nature. Well, I'm telling you, human nature is going to change. It's changing this year. My nature is changing this year. I mean, as Spirit told me at the beginning of the year, to stop making excuses, to just get on with what I'm here to do. Don't wait for my partner to come. Again, I've talked about this at least once before on one of these videos. I've wanted to merge with my spiritual partner because I know that my power becomes 10 times greater when my spiritual partner is connected with me in the physical realm. I mean, that's an amazing thing that I believe happens. But I don't know who she is. I don't know. And I don't know when she's coming. So I had to stop making excuses. But these energies are increasing in me by myself as the divine marriage of my soul takes place, as I allow my higher self to merge more and more completely day by day with my egoic human self here in 3 dimensions. I'm already in the 4th and the 5th dimension. I mean, I can feel those energies impinging upon my consciousness, on my awareness. I don't have bad days anymore. I may have times that I might feel sad, but I don't fret over it and I don't beat myself up over it. And neither should you if that's what you're going through. Just allow it to unfold day by day. Remember, there is no time and it's all happening right now. It's all happening in this present moment. We are being changed and transformed within our own being, and this can only transform the world. There's a lot of fear stuff going on in the world. There's a lot of fear stuff that comes across comes into my inbox of the Chinese taking over. The one I got yesterday was of the Chinese taking over Canada and the United States and Australia because they're polluting their planet. I mean, give it up. There are technologies that are going to come into play that's going to enable China to clean up their toxic messes. And they're not going to have to put Chinese people into the United States and Canada and Australia because these are regions that have untapped land masses and are more clean than land. It's not going to be that way, folks. This 9th wave is going to change everything, and we are powerful beings. We are powerful co-creators that are making this new world, and we're going to be able to clean up any mess. And if if Chinese people want to come and live in the North American continent or on the Australian continent, I believe that we're going to be able to go and live wherever we want because we're going to be free. We're going to be free people. We're not going to have the consciousness of needing to take somebody else's house or somebody else's land or somebody else's property of whatever kind it is, because we're going to be able to live and let live. We're going to be having a spirit of cooperation that's going to take place. It's going to be a whole different level of consciousness. There's nothing to worry about as this ninth wave sweeps over our beings and over our planet. It's going to change our reality, folks. Get used to the fact that things that have been are not things that will be anymore. The lies and the scandals and the deception and all of the control mechanisms that have been employed by the government agencies around the world, these are going to collapse. They have to collapse because the new energy simply will not sustain them. So my message to you this morning, as you contemplate this ninth wave, is to fear not. Don't get pulled into the trap of getting upset with prognosticators that give you terror messages. Yes, those messages are there. Stand in your power, your personal power, and just allow yourself to wake up and be free and to be you. Be genuine. If you feel the fear, don't beat yourself up. Forgive yourself and move on. Don't get stuck in any negative emotion. Allow them, but don't get stuck in them. Again, this is our year to change the world. And I've gone a little bit longer than I usually do. And I guess I should apologize for that, but there's no apology really needed. It is what it is. And today is what it's going to be. And I bless you. I bless each one of you with my heart to your heart, from my heart to your heart. I bless you. You are wonderful, wonderful human beings who are becoming whole again for the very first time. Namaste.